What's going on, Built by Bai Team? Thanks for checking out this week's Bendy stretch class. Today I've got a really good one for you. We're going to be going through a really thorough, quick leg day warm up. So, this is really going to be important to make sure that we're priming the muscles that we're going to be using during these Built by Bai workouts to make sure that we are getting the most out of the workout itself, that we're preventing any injuries, that we feel good throughout the movements, and that we're recovering well afterwards. Because again, strengthening it's awesome. It builds muscle, but it also tightens and shortens our muscles. So we want to make sure that we're counterbalancing that with proper warm-ups, proper cool downs. So find a comfortable place. You can come back to this video regularly. You're going to be able to find it in the Built by Bai workout program. But this is going to be our Built by Bai bendy leg day warm-up. Find a comfortable place and let's get started. Alrighty, team. So we're going to come into a standing position for this first movement. So what we're going to do is you can do this on the gym floor. So I'm going to come up here and do it on the bench just for the best views up here. But on this one, we're going to be really getting our posterior chain muscles all primed, ready to go. So you are going to hang out at your ankles, and I just want you to kind of rock around in this motion for a second. Go ahead and get some twisting in. But you're going to take a stance that's about shoulder width apart. You're going to hang onto your ankles, and we're going to sink into, I did not set up that well. You're going to sink into a deep squat. So you kind of need to play around with your foot positioning with this one. Go ahead and do so. For me, just where I do have longer legs, I do need to take a wider position. But again, kind of find what feels comfortable for you. But we're going to do some deep squat to hip lift. So again, hanging onto those ankles, sink down into the movement, rock through, send those hips up nice and high. And again, go ahead and follow your breathing. Take an inhale. Big deep breaths throughout this. You don't necessarily need to coincide it with the movement by any means, but just make sure that you're getting a lot of oxygen to these muscles. And again, if you have a side that's weaker, stronger, I know for me, my left side is tighter, my right side is weaker. So I need to make sure that I'm being intentional with pushing up 50% of my weight on this side, 50% on this way, because sometimes we like to favor one leg. But go ahead, give me a cycle of about 3 more, hanging onto those feet, hanging onto those ankles. Go ahead and give me 1 more. Sink those hips nice and deep. You can push your elbows against the side of your, or the inside of your knees to help open up your adductors, groin, and even get your deep glute activated as well. Send those hips up nice and high 1 more time. Shake it out. Big deep breaths. And we're going to come down into a seated or a kneeling position for right now. So that one might be a little tiring. That's okay. I know I'm definitely breathing a little heavier, but that's kind of part of it is we're going to stay on lower intensity, but still get these muscles moving, get blood circulating, increase our heart rate slowly. For this next one, we're going to make sure more of our hip flexors are a little bit open on this one. So we're going to send that right leg out in front of us. We're going to come into a deep lunge position. So your knee is going to be a little bit further than your ankle. If you need to send your left leg back a little bit more, go ahead and do that. But what we're going to do on this movement, take this inside arm. We're going to twist open into this right leg. Reach up to the ceiling, big deep breath. Close it off. And this is going to be kind of like a combination movement. Now you're going to send your hips back into the half splits, stretching out the calf, stretching out the hamstring. Come back into that deep lunge. Now you're going to take your hand and push on that hip to open it up. So I'm going to show you. Keep going with that range of motion. Again, right leg comes out. We're going to send our knee over our ankle slightly. Twist open. Big deep breath. Come back. Extend to create that half split, stretching out these muscles behind our leg. Coming back into that deep lunge. Push on that hip, creating a stretch here on that outer glute. Back to it. We're going to do 1 more per side. Extend it out. Rock back into it. Open up. Back down. Extend that hamstring. We're getting some good active stretching before our workout today. Open up that hip. Come back to center. That is a fun, dynamic movement to make sure that we are warming up multiple muscle groups. So we got our hip flexors, our piriformis, our hamstrings, our calf. Let's go ahead and work onto that left leg. Go ahead and come into that deep lunge position. Again, we want our knee to be a little bit further than our ankle. Starting with a twist. Big deep breath. Come back down. Half split to extend that leg. Back into it. Push on the knee to again get those hip rotators moving. Back. Extend. And again, kind of go at a pace that feels good for you. I know for me, like when I get started, I like to start a little bit slower. But as I get a little bit more reps in, I like to speed it up a little bit. Coming back into that deep lunge, pushing open on that hip. And back again. Couple more. Go at your own pace. Make sure that you're breathing and being really intentional with the muscles that we're engaging. With this one, you're going to feel in your right hip flexor and then even within your spine as we're opening up our trunk area. Extend back in. And again, this is just going to help you have better performance during your workout. It's going to help you prevent any injuries and see better results because your body's moving well. Go ahead and give me one more. Extend it out. Deep lunge. Twist open. Back down. Extend. And then push on that hip one last time. Good. Okay. Come to center, shake it out a little bit if you need to. This next one, I'm going to show you a couple different ways because I might be too high. Actually, maybe I'll just step. Yeah, I guess just watch my feet on this one. So again, we're going to warm up the ankles on this one. I want you to come into a standing position. We're going to go ahead and go into a calf raise, followed by a toe lift. Calf raise, toe lift. Calf raise, toe lift. It's kind of hard to keep my balance on this bench, not going to lie. But that's okay, we'll make do. And lift up those toes as high as you can. And I don't want us to like bounce going too fast where we're not getting like muscle engagement. Try to hold that as high as you can. Back down. Toe lift. You guys, this squishy bench is killing me. But this is going to be a good way to, again, we're warming up the ankle, but we're activating our muscle up here, activating our calf. And again, our shin, we really neglect these muscles. And it's something that I've been incorporating a little bit more, especially as I've gotten more into running these last couple months. But it is very, very helpful. It's also really good on knee recovery to make sure you're doing toe lifts. In physical therapy, when I tore my ACL, they had me do a lot of heel walks, toe lifts, kind of stuff like that. Good. Give me one more each. Calf raise. Finish with a toe lift. Beautiful. Alrighty. And then the last thing I'm going to have you do that I'm not necessarily going to do in here today, but I want you to pick one high intensity exercise to do for 1 minute. So for me personally, I like to jump rope. I always have a jump rope in my workout bag just because I think it's like a fun way to get the heart rate going. And I just enjoy it. But if jump rope isn't your thing, or if you don't have one on you, you can do 1 minute of jumping jacks. You can do 1 minute of high knees, 1 minute of butt kickers. The goal is to just do a very fast movement to get the heart rate going and our muscles more primed for that higher intensity stuff that we might see in this Built by Bai workout. But this is something that you can always come back to. It is going to be put into the Built by Bai workout program in the warm-up section. So check that out. But if there's anything that you guys would like to see in the future, or if you have any questions on form, need some personal feedback, I am always here for you as a resource. But So grateful for you guys. Go crush your workout, and I will see you on next week's Bendy Stretch class.